Okay, I reset everything. I better not be choppy no more. Can you hear me? Can everybody hear me? Am I still choppy? Let me know.
We're here.
Still choppy.
Yeah, I can hear you, Daddy.
Blake, I swear to God, bro. Can everybody hear me just fine? Can y'all hear me?
Cash now has the 14th child. Oh, not
Okay,
that kind of daddy. Got it. Okay.
Whatever.
They said still choppy.
I don't get it.
On this rare occasion, we're probably going to tell you guys that this makes me nauseous to say this, but head over to Facebook because it's not choppy on Facebook for one time. I hate
Someone
to say
said, people on Facebook said choppy.
It's still choppy on Facebook.
choppy on Facebook.
Yep.
Clear
It's choppy but audible.
I'm being shadow banned, bro.
computers. I don't know.
I'm being shadow banned because everything is perfect. My internet, I got the fastest internet that I can have. I've never had a problem before where it's
Yeah,
been
just
choppy.
because you said the F word.
True. It could be.
Second.
Clear your cookies and search history.
People are probably like, "What's cookies?"
No, it's definitely Cash because I just went live from my StreamYard and it didn't do that. And I was on YouTube and Facebook. It's definitely you.
Choppy everywhere. Yep.
Damn.
Son of a bitch. Sorry, Pastor Jay.
I was gonna say your pastor gonna get you.
Being watched.
Do we need to have some Trump time for entertainment?
Oh my God.
I'm playing this video. Hopefully you guys can hear it. I'm doing it. Y'all need to hear it. So let's see what happens. Please mute your mics.
Several poll workers detailed hostilities from others that prevented them from doing their jobs on election night and during the recount. One witness, a former worker who was delivering for the United Mailing Service, alleged he was told that his post office planned backdate over 100,000 mail-in ballots. When he asked if he would get in trouble for the missing ballots, an employee responded,
The employee said, no, I wouldn't, as long as they were postmarked for the 3rd. And then she hesitated for a moment and said that's why they had us do that, referring to USPS employees. I didn't bring any of this to the attention of the supervisors at the USPS at the time, due to what I perceived to be their hostility towards the president and their evident contempt of the law.
Pease also said that he heard the same employees joke to customers. They asked who they voted for and referenced throwing the ballots directly in the trash if they were for President Trump.
Directly into the trash.
Another witness, Phil Klein, the director of the Amistad Project, said the Center for Tech and Civic Life, which received $350 million from Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg, reached out to the mayor of Racine in May. He said they donated $100,000 so Racine and 5 other cities could make a Wisconsin-safe election plan, which he claims is different from the election plan of the rest of the state. Klein said the new plan viewed voter ID as a burden to overcome. When one witness was asked if he had filed a complaint with the Wisconsin Election Committee, he answered he didn't because he had no faith in them.
I hate to say this, but we do not have any faith in our election commission.
Christina Kim, NT News.
And NTD sat down with 2 Chinese-American poll observers for the Wisconsin recount. Both say they had trouble observing because they were too far away.
Xiaochen Zhao helped Republicans with the poll recount in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. She says that Democrat reps kept reporting her. One incident involved her taking a picture of a ballot box.
Then you take a picture as long as you do not get personal information of the voters. Okay, so that guy, as soon as he saw me took a picture of the box, he stood up and then keep on taking picture of me. Well, he's seen that I take a picture of you, but you cannot take a picture of that box. I can't believe it. They are so mean. Okay.
Zhao says she was too far away to meaningfully observe the ballots.
The yellow line is 6 feet away, and I stand right behind the chair, which is more than 7 feet away from the envelopes. And then plus the envelopes, when I look at the envelope, all the writings are upside down. I cannot see anything. I cannot see the letters. The only thing I can see is the length of the letters.
She said at one point the Republican rep told her the Democrats were after her and that he better let her go or else they would try to remove her. Another observer, Wen-He Lu, recounts being unable to meaningfully observe ballots.
But in Milwaukee, the rule was 6 feet between the observers and the election officials will check the ballots and the envelopes, and that distance is too far for any observer to be functioning effectively.
Lu also brought up absentee ballots.
Absentee ballot itself is not the right, but is a privilege. You need to apply for it. Therefore, without the application form, the absentee ballot should not be valid. And therefore, from my point of view, if I do not see an application form that matching the absentee ballot, then the absentee ballot should be invalid. And in the 5 days I was there, I've seen not a single one application form whenever the absentee ballot envelope show up. Therefore, for my end, those absentee ballots should be all invalid.
Okay, so just a little bit of that to show. Look, there's a lot that.
You muted yourself, Cash.
Crazy.
Oh, there you go.
Not me, bro. They're messing with my feed. Messing with my feed. Look.
That's it. Hey, that's gonna be your next single.
They messing with
They
my
messing
feed.
with
They
my
messing with my feed. Yeah, all day. Making a trap song. Look, check it out. Check it out, man. All we're showing with all this stuff is there is legit reason why people are upset about this election. Legit. Okay. A whole bunch. That's not nothing. We didn't even watch all of it to show why. But there's a lot. If you guys haven't watched that video, go back and watch it. I'll share the link. But as you've seen in the caption of this video, yes, we're going hard for Trump all day long because Trump went hard for us in America. But at the end of the day, whether tomorrow we found out that Trump is actually flipping and he's going to be just like the rest of them, which I don't think is the case. It doesn't matter because during his term as president, so far, he inspired a multitude of people to stand up and fight for this country, for our freedoms, for our liberties, for all the things that they've been trying to take away from us, that they have been taking away from us. All right, especially this year. So we are all standing no matter what, no matter who's the president. He's inspired a multitude of people to stand up and fight for this country. So I don't give a damn who's in office. I don't care who's in office. We're going to fight for our country at the end of the day. Take it away, Rusi.
Yeah, there's so much going on right now, and here's the ultimate deal. Do we know if the F word, the other F word they were not allowed to say, is true? We don't know. But if you can't think from a logical perspective, okay, I get, yes, Suni, I see your face. Yes, we do have a very serious opinion on it. But if you don't have the logical ability to put together all of these very factual, our favorite F word that we're allowed to use, pieces with everything from what's going on in Nashville that just happened to be right next to the D machine things, and where all these things are being housed with the building where they're able to actually be housing all the information. They won the contract, and then you've got all these weird false, I don't know what all I can say anymore, false flags. And then you take the actual numbers, and then you take the fact that there's still investigations out there, and the common sense behind everything in these court cases, whether or not they're not on CNN, they're not truth. No, they're just not being played on mainstream media. If you can't for a second think logically and put A and D together and realize that there is a solid chance of the greatest seal in history, then I can't help you. And you look at what Trump is doing, and hopefully what Trump is doing is going to help the American worker that right now for unemployment with $300 a week is incredibly important to get them through the next 11 weeks and finding a way to make a deal on the back end. He didn't sign it as is, and we'll wait to see what happens, because here's the deal. If the omnibus is set up the way that I'm being explained to me, where the president can actually allocate funds wherever they want. Holy crap. Now if Biden does become the president, now it's even more risky. So I'm really hoping that he's making sure there are safeguards put in place before this comes to a head. I think at this point, especially after what happened in Nashville today, if people can't open their eyes anymore, I don't know how to help you.
Yo, I agree, but I got to say something, man, because you're reading through these comments and look, at the end of the day, this is what I can't stress enough, man. We're all here fighting for America. America. Yeah, we love Trump. But if somebody put it like this, if a person that is a Democrat that did not vote Trump, what you've seen on this show, we've had them. Some of them not so nice. Some of them are great patriots. All right. That shit should not divide anything. Whether or not you stand for Trump or whoever, that shit doesn't matter. What matters is, are you willing to fight for our freedoms, for our country? Because it's not just Democrats that's the problem in this country. It's corrupt politicians on both sides. On both sides. Okay, so get that shit out of your head. If somebody isn't a Trump supporter, or if somebody thinks that Trump is doing something wrong, that makes them wrong, because you guys don't follow anybody blindly. Trump is still just a man. He's a great fucking man, and we all love and respect him. Don't get wrong. But at the end of the day, he's still a man, and he can err. He can make mistakes. I don't think that he is absolutely fucking perfect. That's the shit that makes people think that you're a part of a cult. Okay, we're not a part of a cult. Anybody does anything wrong, I don't give a damn if we support them or not. If anybody does something against the people, I told you from the start of this, I'm for the people. Love Trump to death. As of right now, I got his back to the fullest. If he fucks up, I'm going to call him on his fuck up. And that's what everybody needs to do. We got to stop following people blindly just because they're who we follow. Follow the Constitution. Follow the heart. Follow God. Follow American values. That's what we need to follow.
If we do have any liberals watching the show, I want you guys to know, first off, you're welcome here. Second off, I want you to know who you voted for. So I don't know if anybody saw the pander train can only run so far, and you've got Joe Biden, who I call Captain Panderpants. You know, Kamala, that came out with a video statement about her memories of celebrating Kwanzaa as a child and talking about all different things. By the way, Kwanzaa started when she was 2 years old and didn't gain notoriety until the late 70s, which would have meant she was already well past childhood when it actually gained popularity. These are the people that have been quote unquote, elected into office. We've been worried about Trump doing things all these years. He lied about maybe there's too many more people than there really was at inauguration. The rest of the lies are all just inflation of numbers or confusion on fact. Whereas you've got a woman that is the vice president, quote unquote, elect of the United States of America, talking about Kwanzaa and how it changed her childhood. She celebrated Christmas her whole life. Let's be very clear there. This is the pandering that's gone on to placate this weird woke mob, and it's dangerous. So this is who you elected, and whether or not they got elected or not, we don't know. And here's the deal. Will Trump do everything perfect? No, there's things we disagree with. But this has gotten to a point of absolute ridiculous brainwash when we're the ones being called brainwashed on one side, and you look at the bullshit going on the other. She's literally doing a video about Kwanzaa and her childhood that never actually happened, just to pander to the American public. And not black people. She's pandering to the woke, white, liberal mob to go, see, I knew we voted in the right one, and you got Biden over there in cabinet. It's the most diverse cabinet in history. Don't care what their qualifications are. It's bullshit.
On my life, bro, you hit it on the head. Sunni, go ahead, chime in.
I feel speechless at the moment. I'm not even gonna lie.
I'm just looking at these comments. People gotta look. I get it. We are all Team Trump here. Every one of us that's right here on this panel right now, we are Team Trump. I ain't gonna lie. Am I questioning some things right now? Possibly. Fuck yes. Forgive me, Pastor. I'm sorry. But yes, I am, because I didn't like that bill. No American likes that bill. Okay. Thank you, Carol.
Yeah, but,
and I will do my best. No one likes that bill, and I don't know what it entails all the way yet as far as what Trump signed. Maybe it's not the same exact bill. I don't know. But I'm not going to I'm not just gonna write Trump off yet until I find out for sure.
Even though we don't like the bill, nobody here thinks that bill is worth anything, right? We still have people that have been suffering far worse than we have, far worse. You know, as much as I don't like it, at least people at this point, they're getting something with some revisions involved. So it's not like he just went and said, all right, here you go, and just forked over the money. There's going to be revisions coming. People just...
So here's my opinion. We've came this far, 4 years, and even longer than that. At this point, if you don't trust Trump to the whatever fullest extent, if now more than ever, if you don't trust him, then don't trust him at all. Because I have put my full faith. No, I don't put my faith.
Bullshit. I don't trust nobody 100%. Not even my mom. Period.
I'm just saying, in regards to this election, if this far into it, if there's something with this bill and Trump is going to sign it and he's going to do it in the way that he did do it, I'm going to trust his judgment. It's not that I can't come back later and say, yeah, that was a mess up, Trump. You shouldn't have done that. But I'm assuming that there's some that's the great thing about journalism. I think that we can make our comments and statements and then being able to go back and retract them and say, hey, I made a mistake and I was wrong. And that's what I think right now is like I'm putting my faith in that Donald Trump knows what he's doing with this omnibus bill, and if it goes through and it backfires in the long run, then I'll come out and say, Donald Trump, you screwed up, you're an idiot. I'm not going to be faulty, but right now I'm going to trust the process and trust where he's got us to this point, and I'm going to put my faith in the fact that I think I know what he's doing.
I can say that. I'll do that. I'll trust right now. That's why I said I'm gonna wait, read, and see what it says. But yeah, I don't put my faith 100% in nobody except God. That's it. Right. That's the only person I'm trusting 100% with anything. Other than I'm questioning everybody all the time because I get that.
And really quick, I want everybody that's watching to understand how journalism is supposed to work. And we've completely ignored that in the United States of America for the last 20 years. And I think it was Hawk earlier talking about what happened to we were talking about OJ and everything changed since then. So last night, if anybody watched Cash's show last night, I think everybody was on there, including Casey. That's actually the way journalism used to work. Somebody would come up with this ridiculous story, like, is this legit? And then everybody would poke holes in it. What you were watching last night was a live look at what a war room used to look like. Journalism used to look like. Look, there's a lot of far out thoughts that have some merit. If you can poke holes and it's still proven, like I know Hawk last night and Casey were kind of getting into the things with the light poles and all that stuff, it's a valid discussion. And you guys were watching it online live. And that's actually the way journalism used to work. It's not like that anymore. Now you bring a story, you have one source in your back, they trust it, and they send it out live as fast as possible. So what you're watching is in fact real journalism. Perfect as it is.
So that's like what happened yesterday.
Wait a minute, Sharon. I don't mean to break your heart. I'm just being a realist. I'm not saying anything bad about Trump. All I'm saying is that nobody's exempt from doing bad. Every human being on this planet has the capability of doing something wrong or doing something bad. And nobody is 100% truthful or forthcoming, period. And that's just a fact.
Actually, what Donald Trump did was bought himself time.
Yep, 100%.
Okay. So the Impoundment Control Act of 1974, I'll say that again, the Impoundment Control Act of 1974. I want you guys to look that up and read that information. What Trump did was he bought himself 45 days in which to get Congress to make drastic changes. Congress cannot spend a penny other than what the president authorizes for the next 45 days.
I pulled it up if you want to.
Yeah, let's do that.
Everybody can see it.
What was Blake trying to say before? Sorry, he was about to ask me a question directly what I said.
Yeah, so what happened yesterday is when we found out about the smoke that was going into Nashville, and that there was that direct diagonal. I wanted to report what I saw, and I showed people. I wasn't sure what it was. And then we had Hawk who contacted me, which is how it's supposed to work. I reported, showed them what I found, And I told him even on my live, I can't conclusively say this is X, Y, Z. It looks to appear to be a missile. And then guess what? Hawk comes on here. We went on our show later that night. Hawk gave a detailed, brief information of what is it a DEW?
Yes.
DEW.
So he went over what a DEW was, and therefore we retracted what we said about a missile and confirmed it with a DEW, which is what that was.
Right.
And he was able to verify that information. Whoa.
My bad, guys. That's me. I gotta block somebody.
But like that's journalism. Like that's what I try to give. I try to give people like different perspectives, and I even tell people is do your research. Don't just believe me, like because I don't know. Like I just am able to find information and report on it because once it's found factual. But if there's stuff like that video I posted yesterday, I'm not sure if it's true or not. But I'm showing you live what I see, and I want you guys to be able to investigate. And then we had thousands of patriots around the country looking at this information, and then guess what? We got an answer.
And that's the thing with media nowadays too, is like you guys were saying, the war room thing, that was so important. But what everybody tries to do is it's who gets out first. They want it out as fast as they can because that's their ratings. That's how they get paid. That's why they push things like it do. So
they have a narrative in which to work with. Well, and you think about the corporations that are behind that, and I hate to say that all corporations are bad, because I mean, a lot of these corporations provide, a lot of things for, everyday Americans. But at the same time, when you're influenced specifically by your media, then you become blind to, it's that adage that we said before, here, look at my right hand. This is what it's doing, but you're not paying attention to what my left hand is doing. It is that sleight of hand. And it's constant misdirections. What else is going on?
So I got a question.
Go ahead,
Hawk. What do you know about? No, you're good, brother. I got a question because you're intelligent as hell, man. I gotta shout you out. You're amazing. Literally, you are brilliant. I love talking to you. I love having you on the show. What do you feel about Pence? Because a lot of people are on the fence about Pence. Didn't mean to make that rhyme, but I'm a poet and didn't know it. But anyway, people are on the fence about Pence because he is supposedly he didn't sign whatever he needed to sign to make it to where he controlled. Well, I don't know how it was explained. It got me like lost a little bit. But what do you know about what's going on with Pence and why people were questioning?
Well, there's the rumor mill, military rumor mill. We're talking a bunch of old vets that get together pretty regular. Was that there was an email found, an exchange of information between then I'm not sure if he was a congressman or a senator, Ryan, that guy Ryan. He was the president of Congress before Pelosi there. I don't remember his name off the top of my head. But I guess the guy is now affiliated with CNN. He was an up and coming, superstar in politics. And then Trump came into office and all of a sudden he didn't want anything to do with politics anymore. But the story was that there was, that they were colluding to get rid of Trump.
Right. I heard that. But what was it that Pence's part was in it?
Well, I mean, when you're having a conversation about getting rid of the guy that you're running with, it's a week. You can stay in office. We'll just get rid of Trump, kind of thing. Or if it was an assassination plot or whatever, when you hear those kind of things, it throws a wrench in your clean running wheel and thus make a squeaky wheel, but Pence really been off. When he was a governor, he was very outspoken with the people. You know what I mean? It was constant communication, and he was a personable person. But then
right here in my state.
Then when he ran for election with Trump, he was kind of he's taken a back seat. He's got more leadership qualities to him, and I think that Trump has used him for the right things. From my understanding, he's been involved in some operations, and if the info that's coming from my intel friends is correct, he's a white hat. And I truly hope it's. I pray for everybody, man. I pray for everybody. I even pray for my enemies. Because I hope that in the end, that they're that they're taken up too. So I don't like to think the worst things, and personally, I think if the operations that I've been hearing about are accurate and correct, I would definitely say he's a white hat, and I'll keep my support behind him and my president. And this is the thing. I grew up in an era where it didn't matter who the president was. You respected the office, no matter what. No matter what.
And that's what it's supposed to be.
And it was in the 80s that all that changed. Actually, when Clinton went in, because it was, the scandals were really becoming more prevalent. But again, that was when CNN and Fox and all these mainstream media really started popping up. So it all kind of comes back to one thing. It's the character of the man. We can all do bad things in our lives, and if he's made a change for the good, and he's really putting out there for the president and for the people, then I back him.
All day. I'm with it all day long, all day. And I said that from the start of this. No matter who's the president of the United States, as Americans, we're supposed to back them if they're doing the right thing for the country. And that's where the problem lied with this president, because people were just so against this president that they didn't care what good he was doing for the country. And that's how I was trying to tell people not to be when it comes to Biden, if he does in fact get to go into office. If he happens to get it to go into office, we're not going to run him off. We'll wait it out and see, if this dude actually does, if everything fails that we're trying to do and he still ends up in office, I'll step back, respect him as the president, and call him out on everything that I feel like is wrong. If he does something right, I'll say, good job. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate it. But it's a big if. It's a real big if, because in 47 years, this guy has done nothing. He's done nothing. So I don't understand how he would all of a sudden turn out to be a fantastic president or care so much about the country. And that's my problem. But I guess I will have to wait and see. I had to get through that, but I wouldn't be like these guys do Trump. I know that. Yeah, that's the attitude of colleges and students. And I hate to say that too. I've seen such a degradation in how people perceive politics. I really have. I mean, and there's so much anger there. There's so much anger, and in honesty, this has nothing to do with Republicans or Democrats. This is about Americans. It's just that simple. This is about America. This is the place that we live, that we want our kids to grow up. All day. So let me ask you this: this is a question that I'm sure everybody. Everybody's having these thoughts right now. If Trump has to leave office, I don't see this ending peacefully. I don't see the country accepting it, because there's so much that we've already seen. If we, as regular citizens that are not, famous journalists or news anchors or anything like that, can find out the things that we've been finding out about this election, seeing firsthand there's some shady shit, forgive me, Pastor, going on, then how are we supposed to just sit back if something does pop off? Because it will pop off. I'm telling you right now. If this election stays the way that it is, and Trump ends up having to leave, and we have to accept this election, I, for one, I'm never going to feel the same about America. I'm not going to trust that I even have a voice. I'm not going to trust that my vote counts, because that was a big thing when I was coming up in school. Your votes don't matter. We were taught that. We were, when they try to hit us with that, vote, your vote matters, all of that coming up with Justin Timberlake, they're making the videos and the songs and all that. we weren't buying it. I was from like, yo, our vote doesn't mean anything. It
Well,
don't mean
I said this to you earlier. I said this election was the first time, you know, in my 54, 55 years on this planet of voting, that I actually feel like my vote matters. I feel like my vote matters. You know, think about that seriously. You know, it's, and not just emotionally. I mean, think about this heartfeltly, thinking about your country. I felt like my vote matters, you know, and I want to know the truth. I want to know the truth. I want to know if my vote's changed. I want to know if the last,
I don't
40,
feel like my
40
vote
years
matters at
of
all.
paying taxes and everything else has all been a lie, and you've been stealing from me this whole time.
Well,
what I mean?
wait, here's another thing though. Here's another thing that really pisses me off. And these are things that we don't talk about enough. We all pay taxes.
Mhm.
We all pay taxes. And when we seen this relief bill that allegedly has been signed, we're seeing that $700 billion of our money is going to other countries whose citizens don't pay taxes that are sent away to us when we need help. So that right there, why are we paying taxes if we don't have a say in where the hell they go?
Think about all the natural disasters where just average everyday Americans, you know, like yourself, you know, get a group of people together and you start a GoFundMe, and next thing you know, you're paying to have somebody's home in Australia rebuilt, you know, or you know, a supermarket built in a town that, you know, it was destroyed. You think about just the, you know, the compassion that we have for the world naturally. You know, and it's been ingrained in this. But at the same time, now we have to look at this and we have to say, wait a second here. You know, we ourselves are right now in a natural disaster because of our government. You know, when Donald Trump got put into office, we didn't vote for a president. We hired a CEO,
a businessman.
We hired a CEO, a man who went into a business and could rebuild it because he rebuilt his own. You know what I mean? Somebody who was not about wasteful spending, but was extremely charitable to everyone. I mean, to everyone, not just one or two people, to everyone. You know, think about the big name stars and things that were on his TV show, you know, drug problems, alcohol problems, and everything else. Do you want every one of those people that had those problems, when they would make a return? If you think back to when Dennis Rodman left, you know, and then he came back another season, and Donald Trump and him had that. It was just a straight heart-to-heart conversation right there on TV. You know, how you doing with your situation? Did you get it taken care of? You know what I'm saying? You know, how many people would do that? I mean, seriously, how many people would do that? You know, you see the guys like Colbert and all these guys doing interviews and things like that. But in all honesty, they're never talking honest, serious conversations with people. It's always narrated, always. And with Trump, it's not narrated.
I get it. I get everything you're saying.
You know?
All I'm saying is right now we are in the middle of a crisis that isn't really a crisis. They've created a crisis. Okay. And the way my mind works is I look at it like with these people that are doing this, it's when you create chaos, you can control the situation. And that's exactly what they've been doing. It's controlling our situation because it's the chaos that they've created. And it all started. See, it's like been a downward effect, man. You look at it. They first had us thinking that the election was bogus and that our president was colluding with other countries when he first took office.
Yep.
Then it came into black people, watch out because the police want to kill you. And that's all they're out here doing is just killing you guys. And you guys are victims. And then it put us on a platform. Oh, you guys matter so much. You matter so much more than everybody else. Your life is so important. And it's so sad how you've been getting treated. And it pissed people off so bad because they start believing it's like, yeah, we are mistreated. you know what? Our lives do matter more than everybody else's. And your life can't matter till my life matters. Then you see a rise in assaults of white people. You see these videos of little kids white kids getting beat up at parks because black kids are feeling like they shouldn't say this or be like this, or because they don't agree with Black Lives Matter. And then you see riots in the streets. You see people burning things down and taking stuff out of stores. And then a pandemic hits, and we're not supposed to be able to go outside. We're not supposed to be able to go in stores yet. These people who are told that their lives don't matter, and we got to prove that they do matter and that they are special. Well, we're going to let them go ahead and be the only ones that can go outside amidst the lockdown and tear up the entire country. Matter of fact, police, stand down, don't do anything about it. Matter of fact, stay blocks away from wherever they are and let it be. And then you got to wear a mask every single place you go. I don't care. I know your business got turned down, but we can't help you. And it's not a fault. You know, there were rioters and you didn't have the insurance for rioters insurance, or you didn't have, they call it terroristic acts or whatever. They screw everybody. They flipped the country upside down. Then here comes another election. And then we're seeing a whole bunch of stuff that's showing that it's been messed up. There was some shit that was going on that shouldn't have been going on. And it's got everybody freaking out. Everything has been to disrupt the peace of America. And then to top it all off, after all of these things happen, and we're fighting about all these things, and we're all divided about all this shit, now, here, we're going to put this bill out here to try to help you guys out. The stimulus bill that you've been waiting for, that Nancy Pelosi's been blocking for God knows how long. We're going to give you guys $600 because we love you so much. But we're going to take the rest of that money that you guys have paid for however long you've been paying your taxes, and we're going to give it away to this fucked up ass country over here that doesn't care about you. And that would not do the same for our country. Yeah, but America first.
I believe that they had a raise in that bill too.
25 million.
You know,
25 million was allocated to the Congress.
All I can do is say reference back to what Hawk just mentioned when he said Trump is giving himself time. Words matter. When you're reading documents and you're reading these things, you have to remove your feelings and just read it. And if you don't understand it, Google. Shit, if you don't want to Google, use DuckDuckGo. Just use a dictionary and find out what these words mean. Yep. I had no idea what Hawk was talking about until I actually read it. And you can take a sigh of relief, like, okay.
Yeah, he bought time, and that's the important thing. You know, is right now, you know, Americans are on edge. You know, and the thing is I believe that people are waking up to the fact that this really isn't about Democrat or Republican or even Trump's policies. What it boils down to is that we as Americans need to come together, because you're not going to be feeling right if, you know, well, the easiest way to look at it, if a socialist society started tomorrow, okay, which it started 9 months ago, you know, if you think about it, you know, it started 9 months ago. You know, this is your socialism experiment. You know, some people have broken through the experiment and some people have not. You know, some states have broken through. You know, so you got Florida who's out and working. You got Texas who's out and working. You know, they're not shutting down for more coronavirus and things like that. You know, but America needs to do that. All of us together. You know, my business has been shut down since January, and I average 44,000 a month, and my business is right here on my farm. You know,
I'm hearing everything. Keep the faith and trust, and I get all that. I get what Trump's trying to do. All I'm saying, this is my main point. The main point of what I'm getting at here. Okay, at the end of all this shit, okay, all the stuff that's happened with 2020. At the end of our year, we're shown that we can give out $900 billion, okay, almost $1 trillion that we can fork out at the end of the year. Only $200 billion of that goes to America. $700 billion is going everywhere else. Now, my point is, we are in a fucked up time in this country. and we have been, right? We have homeless people. When I went out to California, I seen the worst homelessness I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. And a lot of them guys was vets. There was women out there. There's children out there. All types of shit. Then you've got people's businesses failing because of this messed up bullshit virus. Okay, and people are losing their homes. There's all types of shit going on right here. There's impoverished neighborhoods. If you go through Gary, Indiana right now, you will see the most torn down shit that you probably will ever see unless you go to fucking Detroit. Okay. And we can give out $700 billion of taxpayer money to shithole countries that don't do shit for us, while we have people right here that are suffering. Why can't we just make America into the fucking utopia that it was supposed to be, with that kind of money being sent out to everywhere else?
Well,
Bigger. I'm not even talking about with just Trump. I'm talking about
like
with
this. Liberty and freedom is your heart. The Constitution is the blood. Okay. We have to be the brain. We have to. There has to be the connection of the living entity and the access of knowledge. You know, so having these discussions is basically doing exactly that. You know, this is where you have to look at it and say, okay, let's figure out why you did it. Let's figure it out.
I'm not even just talking about Trump. This is what I'm trying to say, because they've been giving out relief. I'm talking about through the history. We've been sending money out to other places since before we were born, is what I'm trying to get at. I'm not even just talking Trump at this point. I'm not talking Biden at this point. I'm talking about all of these assholes. I'm sorry I'm cussing so much, but I'm getting mad thinking about this. Doing numbers in my head, seeing how much money we fork out every year, or anytime there's some kind of relief that needs, anytime fucking Haiti had an earthquake, or fucking China's got some shit going on, whatever the case may be. We are sending out money to all these other places while we are sitting in shit ourselves and have been. How do we have a homeless population? How? If we're able to give out that kind of money, how in the hell do we have neighborhoods with vacant lots, vacant schools, vacant churches? Why don't we turn that shit into something? Why can't we use a little bit of that money to fix up shit out here?
Because the left tells us we're all xenophobic, racist, homophobic assholes.
Not just the left. It's bigger than just the left, because the left has not been in control for fucking forever. And that's the problem. We want to blame one side or the other. It's these it's all of them. It's all of them. Matter of fact, no, fuck that. It's
well, you're right. It is. No, it is all of them.
Our fault, because we're letting it happen. How many other people are asking questions and wondering? We got the power to change it, like I read at the beginning of the last show. We got the power to change all of that. We got to take the stand. This shit shouldn't be happening. We're upset about the stimulus bill. Well, fucking let's change the stimulus bill. Why are we waiting on them? If the legislators are the problem, the ones that's writing this shit up, let's change them. Get them the fuck out of here writing up bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
We went from 9 months ago, we went from give me liberty to give me death to, hey, just wear the mask and trust all the voting machines.
True.
That's what happened. That's what happened in America. We went from.
And the thing is 90% of the population was led by the media. Led like a bull to slaughter, ringing the nose, chain on the end of it, and walked them right into the slaughterhouse.
So, Cash, I'm just gonna pick your brain. Like, how do we do that? Because we can't just if we could stay here us six and write this bill, how do we do that? Because a lot of people, like on previous shows, says use our voice. At what point they don't listen to our voice? So then what do we do?
Funny you say that, because the other day we had a discussion and you were the one that was saying what I'm about to say. There's only really one way that I can see this shit really changing.
Mm-hmm.
One day. We got to move their ass up out of the way. The people that are in the way of stopping us from being the nation that we're supposed to be. having the nation that we're supposed to have.
Yep.
They will decide to go to war. You think about this shit when Bush was in office. We decided to go to war because the Twin Towers fell. We had a terrorist attack on our own soil from Afghanistan. Yet we went to war with fucking Iraq. You know what I'm saying? They make these decisions for us. They send our young men and women off to die. They take our money and fund other countries, you know, whatever it is that they got going on.
And where are the weapons of mass destruction at?
Exactly.
Still haven't found them. Still haven't found them.
It's a fucking problem. So the only way to fix this is we have to take back the power. We have to take back the power. We got to make sure that they understand that they don't get to make a fucking move without us. If they're passing legislation and all this shit through these bills that get passed through, people need to be made aware of these bills and say, hold on, no. I don't want my money going to that. Which is this is the fucking sad part about it, is we elect officials to do things on behalf of us, right? That's why we elect officials in our cities and in our states, because they're supposed to represent the best interests of the people where they are at. But somewhere along the lines, we've forgotten that, and we just leave them there because, you know, we just do. Instead of holding them accountable who wrote this fucking bill? Who was a part of this bill that wrote this bill and pushed it through? That's who we need to go and check and say, look, hold on. Next time, if you're going to write something like this, we need to know about it. We're not okay with this. And then when they pass it through, yo, governor, was you okay with this? Oh, mayor, how come they made it to the governor? We ain't okay with this.
But
it's that part there.
The thing I was pointing out the other day is the way that we do this is voice our opinion. It doesn't matter how many millions of Americans we reach out to and use our voice and say this is wrong. If we go and cast our votes for these individuals and we know that they're wrongfully not being counted, it does us no good. It does us no good to sit by and just be like, okay, because
it does really boil down to this election.
Correct.
Really
That's the thing. That's where it's so fucked up, because we know that this election was bullshit. So the voices really don't matter, which means that we're not electing, but selecting people to be in office wherever they're in office at. We lost our right. We don't have control or say in what we do. So the only way to eliminate that, because we don't have a voice or a choice in the matter, somebody got to get eliminated. Somebody got to be moved. We got to move them.
That's why Illinois is in such a rough place right now, because we've had people in control that should have been kicked out a long time ago.
Yep. Someone said, Dylan says, a voice falls on deaf ears. And I truly think that's where we're at, and it's a pivotal point. And I know that I so wholeheartedly wish our voices really, truly were loud and could actually make moves. And, you know, Nancy Pelosi, Mitch McConnell, these big, you know, they've got rich off of us, like us as voting them in. I just think that to fix the problem is you have to find where the problem's starting. And if we legally are casting and, you know, counting every vote, that's where you find the problem, because these people are not represented by the American people. They're represented by the investors and lobbyists and big money spenders in this country. It's a pay to play system. These people invest how much money and they're going to get in, because guess what? If you pay to play, you get in. And guess what? How are you going to fix it? Because money is the root of all evil. And people follow it. And unfortunately, it's going to take the American people to rise up in order to overthrow a corrupt government. It's happened in history hundreds of times. And it's going to happen. We're at a pivotal moment in American history where this is going to define America. If we go to a socialist country, or we fight for our life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Because guess what? In CCP, they don't believe in that. They indoctrinate their youth. They do all these different things, and that's just the America that I don't want to see.
You know what we got to do too, though, man. And this is the thing. See, people get fearful when you start talking about things like this. People get fearful because everybody got a lot to lose. You know, people got jobs, or they got children, or they get scared about the military. Like, how would the military react if the people did revolt? What would the military do? You got to remember, the military are not mindless fucking drones, you guys. They're Americans just like you and I, and they have family here too, and a lot of them are sick of things too. So I'm gonna tell you right now, and I believe this wholeheartedly, if the people come together and stand for the inalienable rights that we were all given, that we were founded on, that we're supposed to fight for, If we came together and stood for that, we're not standing for something unjust. We're not standing for something that's wrong. What we're arguing about in the cases that we're making right now are valid. People are tired. People are working their ass off so fucking Cambodia can have gender classes. You know what I'm saying? It ain't right. It's not right.
Up until this point, where have patriots been organizing? I'm just gonna be real blunt. Because all of this, yeah, we need to fight back, we need to do this, but where's the organization? That's not enough. It's not. It's
Exactly.
not
That's why we're going to fucking Washington. Watch when you see us out in Washington.
Go there. Be there. Every single one of you, if you have the means to get there, get there. If I didn't listen, I would literally lose my job because I just would lose my job. I just know I would if I called off, and then I would just genuinely lose my job because I work for a very liberal organization. I would get fired. But I'm telling you, and I've already helped pay for 3 people's rides to get there. I have contributed. I want you guys all to be there, truly standing hand in hand with American patriots around this country, just praying for our country, standing up and being loud.
The time for prayer is over. I mean, always pray, but we can't just pray no more. It says in the Bible, faith without works is dead. So you can have faith and pray all day, but if you ain't putting in work, ain't shit gonna happen.
Those people that can't make it to DC too, maybe even try to organize something in your community.
They are.
In your own state.
Every state capital, they also are having rallies at the same time. Everybody needs to go to their capitals. Make sure you're being loud, because I know it's hard for people in California if you can't get a flight or XYZ. But guys, look for your local organizations. They're putting charter buses there. I think there's 50 charter buses coming out of Texas where they're getting people from all across the country. So you just have to do your due diligence and making sure that you're finding the information for yourself.
Yo, Widow Scott, I feel you. Just run for office. I feel you. But I don't fit there. I don't fit there. I'm not like them. And I won't ever be like them. And I knew I wasn't like them when I started being around them. I'm not like them. I'm a fighter. I'm a fighter. And I'm going to stand. If I stand for it, they would not ever accept me. And even so, if I did run, I wouldn't win the vote because this shit is rigged. It's rigged.
So how do we change it? That's where we keep coming down. How do we
shut this shit down? We need a total revamp. The same way we changed it in 1776.
Count them by hand.
We need to read
every single ballot.
State too.
Because the minute our voices are heard, aka our vote, the democracy and the republic of the United States of America is lost.
I'll tell you right now. I'm gonna tell you right now, y'all. You talk about having a lot to lose. Let me tell you something. I got kids. I got a case. I'm not supposed to be able to. Let me tell you how God works. I'm not supposed to be able to leave my state. I've been able to move around this country. You feel me? If this talk that I'm giving you right now, the speech that I'm giving right now, and the speech that I give when I go to them rallies and I speak, the talk that I talk when I'm out in front of all these people is enough for them to throw my ass in jail. I'm not supposed to be talking like this at all. But if we talk about what we got to lose, we will lose so much more if we don't stand up. There's so much more to lose if we do not take a stand. You got more to lose than your job. You got more to lose than being in jail. You got more to lose than a child. You got more to lose. You can lose your children. You can lose the business you work for. You can lose everything. Everything. If this keeps going the way that it's going, we'll be in total submission to our government. We're supposed to rule our government. Our government is not supposed to rule us.
Correct.
And that's what happened. They've taken over everything. Every fucking thing. They have their hand in everything. Literally. Right now, they could be listening in, watching this, even if you didn't want them to. They can fucking put, the way that they got shit ran right now with emails and all this shit, like they can put shit in, they can frame you for things that you didn't even do. They can invade your privacy however they want. They can turn your phone on when it's off and listen to you.
You better be careful. You might have a DEW coming at you.
You feel me? Too much control. They can shut you down however they want to, whenever they want you to. It's got to stop. It's got to stop.
Could you imagine if 10 million Americans showed up in Washington, D.C. on January 6th? How monumental that would be. Shutting the entire country capital down, completely down. Because I can tell you right now that if things don't go, and I'm not saying that I want this to happen, but I'm telling you, if Pence does not make the decision, the right decision, there will be mayhem in DC. There will be.
All I'm saying is
there will also be mayhem if he makes the other decision.
Right.
Like there's mayhem.
double-edged sword, man. Double-edged sword right now. But the other thing is, man, is we got to stand for what's right, and it can't be just about a politician. Like, yeah, love Trump to death, but this fight is switching. This fight is switching. People think we're fighting because of Trump. We're fighting for America. We're talking about an election because our right is our vote. We have the right to our vote. That's one thing that we have that's unique in this country. You know what I'm saying? One of the things that we have that's unique in this country, they take that away from us and shit. What the fuck? We don't get a choice? I ain't going for none of it. I don't know. The way things are going, I might be in a history book for leading the damn army of have-nots.
Have you ever met a genius? Have you guys ever met a genius? I mean, just straight up met somebody in your life that all of a sudden just like, holy crap, where did you learn everything that you learned?
I have not.
Yeah. I've met a couple in my life, and one of them said, President Trump just invoked the Impoundment Control Act of 1974 while signing the COVID bill, allowing him to redline areas that must be addressed. That sends it back to Congress, forcing them to, number one, repeal 230, cut out wasteful spending, and add the 2K.
Correct.
If they don't change that, then his signature means nothing, and they don't get any money at all.
And also, a lot of people were asking me earlier, and part of this bill is the Insurrection Act. He also put in the red line that was going to be eliminated, just for the clarification for all of you out there who are freaking out about that. That's also red line. He crossed it right out.
You know, I know that they say that America is like the freest place in the world, but I really am starting to believe that it's just been an illusion of freedom. Straight up.
What you guys have grown up in, absolutely, is an illusion of freedom. There's no doubt in my mind to that, because I do remember what it was like in the 60s and the 70s. You know, the freedom that we had back then was, you know, incredible compared to today. I can imagine what my mother or my grandmother would say, you know, for their times. You know, systematically the government has slowly stripped us away, and that's why I said, you know, our freedom and liberty is our heart. Our Constitution is our lifeblood. We have to be the brain. We have to. We have to take that control, and you know, and we do it by awakening everybody we can.
I don't know. I feel like Braveheart is about to come to life. Straight up. Dead up. I'm telling you guys.
Take my life, but you can't take my freedom.
I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you guys, man, there's a reason why things are happening the way that it's happening. And I keep on asking myself, like, why the hell do I got a platform? Why did this even happen to my life? And the more that I'm watching and paying attention to shit, like, at first, you know, I was thinking about a career in politics, and I've moved so far away from that. I'm like, fuck that. I don't want that. And I give a damn about this country, and I care about the people in it. I care about everybody, the left and the right. I give a damn about all of them. And I hate the fact that people are misled on both sides. On one side, you got people that'll follow shit blindly because they hate a person. And then on the other side, you got them that they will follow a person blindly because he's fighting what they feel for, you know, for the same things they're fighting for, which is for the country. But at both ends, we got to realize that we got this. We got the power. And we're only fighting against each other. We're not fighting against the system. We have to fight against the system, not against each other. Our fight is not against each other on either side. It's the system that's fucked up. That's gotten fucked up because the blueprint was perfect.
Let's think about what could be done in 45 days.
The way that they wrote the Constitution was made to make sure that we were good. right here in this country to govern ourselves the right way. And now it's gotten fucking corrupted. It's being used against us, to be real.
Can I throw a hypothetical in real quick?
Go for it.
Think of this in significance of the ICA 1974. You know, it was written to stop president from misusing funds, but it also gives Trump 45 days to sit on the funds. If Trump hypothetically declassifies everything before that 45 days period is over, and if you remember his announcement last week when he signed off on Jeffrey Rosen being able to use classified material to go after people, okay, then if 70% of Congress is arrested, Trump controls Congress and its spending. Am I making any sense?
Kind of.
You know,
Say that one more time.
so we know that the majority of people who are in office, they got all kinds of, you know, like you said, lobbyists and corporations and everything else that they've been taking payoffs, kickbacks, and everything else, and all different kinds of corruption. Okay, if you have the proof of this and everything, the reason that nobody was ever arrested or charged was because the information was classified. Okay, the declassification being done in that 45 days and those arrests taking place, the remaining people in political power of, you know, in regards to the Senate and in Congress, you know, you're going to have eliminated per se the black hats, you know what I mean? And the only thing that you have left are people who can make conscious decisions without worry of repercussion of, you know, of them not doing what the pollster or the you know, the panderers of Washington, the lobbyists, you know, and such aren't in control of these people, you know. So we have to look at the entire picture. Again, show them one thing while I'm doing this over here. Think strategy, okay? Think Sun Tzu, The Art of War.
I don't know, man. I think we need less politics, bro. Like, and that's the problem. See, they got Trump over here playing politics. You feel me? That's what they did with this COVID relief bill or whatever. They knew that people did actually need the money. They know that. That's why Nancy withheld so long from signing the damn thing or passing it through.
We don't even need 70% of what, you know, of the employees that there are. We actually need those people in their home states.
But here's the thing that gets me. Our public officials have not stopped getting fucking paid while businesses are shut down. People can't go outside, can't go to church, can't do anything, yet they're making money. Nancy, the lady that's holding back the relief, was still making money, still getting paid.
Still getting her hair done.
Still getting her hair done. You know, it's like, this shit got to change, man. It's got to change. We need to do something, and I want to tell you all so bad what we need to do, but I know that if I say it on here, they can, you know, they can ban me or they can, you know, arrest me, something like that. But all I'm gonna say is, if you guys go to DC, I'll be talking to everybody in person. I ain't gonna say nothing on here.
We'll talk. Rise up and use our voices.
Yeah, rise up
and use your voice.
Yes, keep your voices cocked and loaded. Your voices. Something's gonna happen. Needs to happen, and it's gonna happen. And I'm gonna be with you guys in this fight. And yeah, I think we talked about a lot of stuff. You guys got some closing statements you want to make?
Keep doing your research. I think that's really important. And if you're in this, keep fighting, because there's ways to go out there and do it. America's first. We got to put America first. Doesn't matter what side you're on. America you gotta go for it first. 100%.
All day. Hawk, what's your closing remarks, man?
You know, don't lose hope. Really, I'm serious. Don't lose hope. You know, because falling into depression and all that other stuff. You know, it's not going to help. It's not going to help the situation. This is the time to get tough. This is the time to stand up. Use your voice, and share information. You know, if you learn something new, pass it on to the next person. You know, it all boils down to, we're all one big neighborhood. We got to look out for our neighbors.
Yep.
Facts. Lucy?
Yeah. We're right now, the best thing you can do is continue to speak up, continue to share videos, because that's what people have not done for a long time in fear of what's going on. But you know what? What are they going to do? At one point, there's got to be a threshold where they can't censor 30,000, 40,000, 100,000, 200,000, a million people. So continue to share. If you can march, on the 6th, you march. If you can write letters, you write letters. And to be prepared, to still find ways. And I know that there was comments like, make sure you switch over. This should be done on Rumble. This should be done. And I keep saying this. No, it's great. You share it also on Rumble. We have to continue to speak outside of the echo chambers. And Cash and I had this discussion because originally we were like, screw Facebook, let's get out of here. Let's ditch it. And then we thought about it. We heard some things. And we started realizing that's what they want. They want us separate. They want the right on one side. They want the left on one side. And they want the right to be suppressed. There's a whole bunch of different things. We have to continue to speak. Continue to speak on your platforms. Plain and simple.
You utilize your, one set of platforms to set a plan of action and then get it to all platforms.
Agreed. Yep.
Sony?
All this means nothing if people don't get out and organize and hold people accountable. Go to your capital, go to your governor, go to your mayor, show up at the city council, organize groups and hold them accountable. Because I'm just like, all this means nothing. You can sit here and give information all day. But unless people actually go out and put it to use and stop being afraid, it's for nothing. So it's time to stop blaming politicians now. Like, that shit is dead. It's our fault too. Half of us have been dumbed down for the past, 60, 70 years? We've just been coasting. So get up and do something about it. Please.
I agree. All I'm going to say is this. All right. Let me pull this up so y'all can see me real quick. Listen. It's good to research. And I want everybody to stay researching. Stay informed. You have to. So you know what's going on. Stay informed. So you can know who to hold accountable. Get involved more, not just with what's in the news. Forget what's in the news. I want you to get involved right where you are, in whatever city you're in. In whatever city you're in. Find out where your mayor spends the money at. Is this your money? That's your taxpayer dollars. Find out where it goes. Find out. Find out where your governor's spending the money for the state. Look into it. We got to start holding each of them accountable, moving on up the chain. You want to take it back? If we're going to take it back, maybe it can't be done through, maybe it doesn't have to be through force, if you know what I'm saying. Maybe it doesn't got to be that. Maybe we can start here. Look into where the money goes. Look into how they're spending your money in your city, in your state. And then we'll move up from there. Take back the seats. Your mayor, take it back. We got the power. And there's a lot of us coming together, as you can see. A lot of us have come together in each state. That's why we got these hubs set up. In each state, we got hubs set up for streetlights. Streetlights is becoming so much more than what I ever thought it was going to be. Straight up. It's becoming so much more. We're making people aware about a lot of things while helping each other out, looking out for each other where we ain't got to depend on government. We're supposed to be able to do that for ourselves. Hold everybody accountable, even the churches, your pastors, whatever church you attend, you're giving your money to, your 10% on top of the other money that comes out of your check. that you're taxed by your government. Pay attention to all of it, because that money, that 10% is supposed to go to make sure that you're never without. The people around you are never without. And it always comes down to that money, don't it? That's what they keep. They make you work for your money. Then they take your money. Then they give your money away to other people that aren't here. Not in our country. If it was for our country, then I'm with it all day. Not for our crooked politicians to line their pockets and have a mansion, the nicest car, the mayor of Gary rolling around in a Hummer with an entourage with nice suits on. It's not what it's supposed to be. We're supposed to be looking out for one another next to us. Okay? You want to start this movement? Here, this is how we start this movement. Everybody, I'm going to do my own homework too. I'm going to start getting involved in it too. Right here in Indiana where I'm at. This is my state where I'm at. So I'm going to start looking into Indiana's pocketbook, Indiana's budget, where the money goes, how much money people pay into Indiana state tax. Where does that money go? I'm going to look into that, see if they're being honest. What politicians over here in Indiana have gotten rich and live beyond their means, and how the hell are they doing it? That's what we need to do. Pay attention. Hammond, Indiana, pay attention to the mayor. Look into it. Lake Station, Griffith, Hobart, Highland, Whiting, East Chicago, Indianapolis, Knoxville, all of y'all right here in Indiana. Look at it. Let's start doing that together. Move on up the chain, and we'll find out where the corruption lies. And it's got to start down here. You got to start on the ground level. Then you'll find out who's on the top floor, who's doing what. So let's start this. And then once you do find out, now we got to get them out. Now we got to get them out. Expose it. Once we know what's going on, we can expose it. Once you expose it, you can remove them. Once you remove them, you can replace them with somebody better. Not somebody like me. I'm a little too wild for that kind of stuff. But we can do it. So DC will talk more. Depending on how serious things get, is going to depend on how serious we need to be. And I'll just leave that there. But at the end of the day, we got to come together. Democrat, Republican, it doesn't matter. This is not about Trump. This isn't about Biden. This is about our country. This is about us, the people. That's what this is about. That's what this fight is about. This hat means more to me than just Trump. All right? So I'm with you guys, all of y'all, both sides. I love everybody, and I'm fighting for everybody. And I hope that you guys feel the same way. I know that everybody on this panel does. So we're going to keep this thing going. Love you guys. Unite. Don't fight. Be a street light, because only you can be the change that you want to see in the world. And when you get too stressed out, remember to pray, America, because without God, everything falls apart. I'll catch you guys later on the next one.
Peace.
Peace.